Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Thursday. It's Daryl here. It is not so bright and early anymore. It's 7 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. Okay, like I said, this Thursday morning, I've already downloaded a video this morning about Ron DeSantis and retail theft and the person I used to be back when I was using as opposed to who I am now. It's somewhat of a recovery video, and it's got politics and current events and everything kind of mixed in, and I'm curious to see how the views go. Anyway, I promised in that video, I promised you guys I wanted to do an upbeat story. I've been dying to talk about something positive, and I have something here that I'm going to talk about. It's you've probably seen this. If you haven't seen it, the link will be. I'll put the link right on top. It's a short, maybe a couple minute video showing exactly what I'm talking about. I think it's from Inside Edition. This is at a Cleveland Monsters hockey game, and a man who was not related to this woman or her child was sitting. A man was sitting in one seat, and then there was a 4-year-old child, Nasir Davis, a 4-year-old boy, and then his mother on the other side, Asia Davis, 33-year-old Asia Davis, and a hockey puck gets hit and comes right over the top of the glass, just comes sailing right out. I used to play hockey, and these pucks, it's as hard as a rock. These things are if most people know how hard a hockey puck is, and it comes right out over the glass. And it's headed right for the 4-year-old, and the 4-year-old just freezes. The mother doesn't even realize until too late. She says she didn't even know the puck was coming until it was coming over the glass. And these things are flying at quite a fast speed. The man stands up. Andrew Podolak stands up and just kind of dives over, and I guess he kind of takes the impact and brushes the puck, kind of hits him, and he knocks it aside. And then apparently it must have been towards the end of the game, because the man just left, and the mother, I guess, didn't have time to thank him, and all the hubbub, and she went on, I believe it was Instagram, and looked for the man, and like I said, they found him, Andrew Podolak, and the Cleveland, the team honored them. All three of them dropped the puck for the next game. They got free tickets and all that. I just wanted to talk briefly about this. I started thinking about it. The mother said how this guy saved her son's life, and that I don't think she's exaggerating at all. There's a good chance. There was just an incident in Canada, I believe, where a child lost their life in a hockey practice, got hit in the throat with a hockey puck. So it's It can more than easily happen, so it's not exaggerating that he saved her son's life. And I started thinking about the term hero and the verse of that, coward, and I started thinking about what, if somebody thinks, that they have it in their heart to do that, like, would I do that? I have to be honest, I think a lot of us really don't know until the moment comes. I could tell you about one time, as usual. It reminds me of a story. I'm going to tell you about that in a second. This is what I think it has a lot to do with. I think it has a lot to do with empathy, and or the obverse, a lack of empathy. I've talked since I've had this channel. If you've been watching my videos, I talk a lot about empathy. I've always felt like I've had a very strong sense of empathy, to the point where there's sometimes where I can't even watch a movie. Like other people's emotions, it's almost like I could feel them myself. And I for the longest time, I didn't even want to talk about this, because I thought the word empathy and the whole thing about feelings, I thought it was less than masculine. I thought it almost made me look feminine. So for the longest time, I didn't talk about it. But some people, I think, have always had a strong sense of empathy. Like in yesterday's video, when I talked about the black lady that lost her life, the man with the gun in yesterday's video, and how it scared me watching it. And I wasn't exaggerating. When I watch stuff like that, it's like I just seem to instantly put myself in somebody else's position, no matter what, if they're, if they look like me or they don't look like me or whatever. It's like I imagine that it's me. I feel sometimes, it's like I could feel other people's emotions sometimes. I think the opposite of that would be people that are self-centered and really don't have feelings for other people, aren't concerned or really don't care about, if it's not my family or it's not me, then I really don't care what happens to other people or other families and stuff like that, and which I think there's way too much of these days. So I don't really believe it's quite like fight or flight. I don't think that's it. I don't think it's a hero versus a coward. I think it just has a lot to do with empathy. I mean, as soon as you see something unfold, like with me, I automatically feel like that's happening to me, or it could be happening to me, or it could be happening, even worst of all, it could be happening to somebody I love, which would probably affect me the most, as soon as I see something unfolding. So I try to act and help the person, where I think other people might just, I think there's other people that just, they just stand there and watch it. Or even worse, the worst thing is where they have like absolutely no compassion, and they'll actually like laugh or enjoy seeing bad things happen to people. And that's, I can't even imagine that. I can't even relate to that. All right, this is the first thing that came to my mind. This happened about 30 years ago. I believe I was in my 20s. I was at a mall. I think it's the West Farms Mall here in Hartford, Connecticut. And there's a lot of escalators. And I think it was around Christmas time, and it was really busy. And there was a child and a mother in front of me, probably I'd say about 10 feet in front of me, just starting to go up the escalator. And I look down, and all of a sudden I see the child's shoes are untied, and right off the bat, their shoestring starts getting pulled into the escalator, and starts pull. I just see it start pulling his shoe back. And he was young, probably, I don't know, just walking, maybe 2 or 3 years old, and he doesn't even see what's going on. And right away, I ran over, and the mother didn't know. She was like one step up ahead, and I ran over, and I started trying to pull at this time, and another shoelace had already gone in too. So now I was pulling his whole foot in, and I kind of braced myself in between him and where the shoelaces were being pulled into the escalator, and it actually chewed up some of my fingers because I was trying to pull the strings out, panicking. And this was something that just happened without thinking. As soon as I see those strings go into the escalator, I just, acted. And I think it's the same thing that happened, like similar with this hockey puck. It's not something you even think about. It's instantaneous. It's just automatic. And I don't really know why. Some people just have that in them. Like I said, I think it's empathy, where you feel for other people. You have compassion and empathy for other people, where some people just don't. Or worst of all, they're actually amused by bad things happening to other people, which I can't even relate to. Also, there was one time where I was saved. Like I said, my father died when I was 9 years old. He was a park ranger. He ran the whole park here in Connecticut, Black Rock State Park. And after he died, the workers in the park, I was about 10 years old, and they kind of wanted to be there after I lost my father. And they asked my mom if I could go on a ride with them on a garbage run, because they had big dump trucks that they would hold on to, like the rearview mirrors, and hang off and go through the baseball field and through the campground and picking up the garbage and throwing it in. And I thought that was the coolest thing, and I had been asking for so long to ride along with them. So one day my mom let me go, and I was hanging off the mirror, the step on the outside of the truck, 10 years old, hanging onto the mirror, and the truck was moving slowly across the baseball field, really rolling slow and kind of jostling. And I just remember losing my footing, and I fell. And I just remember I fell right in the path of the tires. I fell right behind the front tire. And I remember looking over, and my body's laying underneath. I just fall right in the path of the back tire. And I remember seeing the big dual wheels just rolling towards me. And I just froze. I don't think there was any way I could have moved anyway. And I just felt somebody grab me by the shirt and shoulders and just yank me out. And it was another one of the workers that pulled me out from underneath the truck. And they were yelling for the truck to stop, and the truck did stop. I don't know if it would actually ran over me or not, if this guy hadn't pulled me out of there, or if they would have stopped in time. But I vividly remember seeing those two big dual wheels from the dump truck just heading, they would have ran right over the middle of me. And luckily for me, some guy acted and had empathy and didn't think about it, and just Just helps me out. So those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think. Is it heroics? Is it fight or flight? Does it have to do with empathy? Like I think either empathy or a lack of compassion being the adverse, the opposite. Let me know what you think. I'll be back later with another video, you guys. The link will be down below so you could actually see the video. Have a good Thursday.